In the last video we prepared our 2 lengths of mild steel for our metal figure. Now remember, we had measured our short piece, which was 25 centimetres or 250 millimetres, which matched the requirement for our green, and our green is for our legs. So we'll start with forming our legs. We want to make this shape out of this piece of metal, so we need to bend it or form it into that shape. We want to keep it as one piece so that we don't have to rejoin it. So we are going to use this picture as our pattern, and we can start this end, and I can match the end of the piece of rod with the end of the foot, and then at this point here I need to bend the steel 90 degrees to form the leg. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. So I'm going to carefully pinch it with my thumb and finger. That is going to be my foot. So we're going to put that into the vise and just hold it in the right position, and I want to form or bend the metal bar around the edge of the vise, or the jaw of the vise. We can do it in some ways. In this mild steel we can bend with our hands, or we can use a hammer. To use a hammer, hold the hammer properly, hold it by the handle, okay, which is down here, and we're going to strike the metal rod with the face of our hammer, not with the edge of our hammer. Okay, so we're going to strike at the base and bend it over. No, I'm striking over the vise, so I'm not striking away, else the metal will come out of the vise. Keep bending it down. So we have formed a 90-degree bend. We can double check that against our picture. So our foot is there, our ankle is there, and it's bending up there. I think it needs a little bit more. So put it back into the vise, just give it another tap. That's much better. Okay, so we have our foot is bent. Now we do the same again. So from the ankle up to the knee, and we want to bend our knee there. Now we can put this in the vise 2 ways. I'm going to put it in exactly the same way, and we need to bend that steel that way. So into the vise, and then flip it over. Now I don't need to go as far this time, because I only need to bend that much. So let's take it out and check it. Okay, so my foot is in the right position, my knee is in the right position, but this metal still needs to bend up. So back into the vise, exactly where it was. Just keep bending it until you've got it just right. So a little bit more. And if you keep checking it, that is how you'll get an accurate piece of work. Okay, so now my foot, my ankle, my knee are in the right position. We need to make a bend for the waist. So this time I'm going to mark it there, and this metal needs to go all the way over there. But this is going to be difficult to hold in the vise now, so I'm going to put this end in the vise this time. So that way, so then this needs to come bend that way. Okay, so into the vise at the right place. If you miss where you're holding it, just double check it, put it back into the vise. Make sure it's straight in the vise, so that you're only bending. And now I'm hitting the other way. Okay, it's worth checking now, because I've changed everything. I'm just going to check I'm bending the right way. Yeah, it's starting to come this way, so I'm going to continue. it straight in the vise. In fact, I'm going to turn it around. Making sure it's straight. I'm going to carry on hitting that way. I know it's got to come past 90 degrees, so okay, so at the moment we are there, and this still needs to come down a bit more. Now the vise can't bend anymore now, I haven't got any more space, so I'm going to have to just increase the height a little bit, and this time bend it down. I'm going to use my hands, I'm going to bend it, pushing as close to the joint as I can. So now we have our knee, our waist, and we need our other knee. So I'm going to hold it onto there, and then this piece of metal needs to bend that way, or this piece of metal needs to bend that way. Okay, so into the right place. Okay. Onto the vise. Making sure it's dead flat. Okay, and then bend over. All the time keeping the face of the hammer hitting, so my hammer is rotating. Bring it out to check. Perfect. So now, one last, well actually there's two more because we've got our little peg for our stand. So this one we need to bend for our foot. Okay, strike away. Now my work is going to get in the way here, but you can bend it out the way a little bit if you want to. Strike over. Take shorter hits. It's a sharp bend, so I know I can go to 90 degrees. And we can check it. Okay, not quite there. We need to go a little bit further. So as before, I'm just going to bend it with my fingers, my thumb. I'm happy with that. Now I need, at the end of my foot, I need to bend it, ready for to go into my stand. Now this is the tricky one. I think actually I'm going to bend it the other way. Okay, so everything's getting very small now to get into the vise. So I'm going to hold it there. Now this is not ideal because I'm hitting across the face of the vise now, so the metal can turn up. So I'm just going to have to. Yeah, it's starting already. If I hold it tight, I'm going to make lots of marks on my metal. Okay, so that's not working. I'm going to have to hold it into there. To strike under there, but there's not enough room for the hammer. Bend it with my fingers. Okay, we can help you with that. Okay, actually I bent it a little bit too far. Just going to straighten it up a little bit. It does bend quite easily. A little bit more. We have now formed our piece of metal into the same shape as our green pattern, and we've used our picture, our model, as a jig or as a template, so that we've made it accurately.